Good morning. Today we'll discuss about how to grow in a saturated market. We often know that the entrepreneurs they starts a company, and initially when there were no competitors, the company works very good. The sales of their products as well as the profit is very high. But there is a problem when there is a competitors in the markets. There is a saturation in the market. So here we'll discuss how to grow in the saturated market. If the market is saturated, then how we have to grow in the saturated market. So one example is entrepreneur Thomas K. Haas. So he has established the Sports Town Incorporated. This company, they have started this. This is a Sports Towns Incorporated is the brainchild of the entrepreneur Thomas K. Haas. Okay, and in 1987, he experimented with this store, that is Sports Town, with one store in Atlanta, Georgia, and this was very successful, and he attracted the huge sum of money for the expansion of the company. So in 1989, the expansion paid off almost $80 million in sales, and the Sports Town they is an example of the successful incorporated by the Thomas K. Haas. But what happens when there is a saturation in the market? So how the Sports Town can compete in a saturated industry determined by the several huge corporations is a mystery to some, but this mystery is not to the Haas. Okay, even though there is a saturation in the industry, saturated saturation in the industry, even though this Sports Town has done very good, and this is a mystery to some people, but this mystery is not to the Thomas K. Haas. What he has done, he has done the market research. What he has done, he has done the market research. Market research is very important as far as the how to grow in a saturated industry, or how to become a successful entrepreneur even though there is a saturation in the market. So he has done the market research, and the market research revealed him the 3 points. Market research has revealed him 3 points. So first point is that market research has given him the 3 point information. So first information is that the what is the first information after doing the research? The consumers wanted a broad selection of products. The consumer wanted consumer wanted a broad selection of product broad selection of product to choose from. So they want a broad selection of the product to choose from. Means the selection should be broad. That means if suppose we have to go for the selection of the products, and if the product is from the one company, or the one company is just manufacturing only one products having the same design, then we cannot say there is a broad selection of products. Okay, so and many sporting goods stores feature narrow selection of the particular brand items. See, and many sporting goods stores features narrow selection of products, narrow selection of product to choose from. So when he has done the research about the markets, the first information he has got that the consumers wanted a broad selection of product to choose from. But many stores or many sporting goods stores, this features narrow selection of products or selection of product to choose from. So there should be the broad selection of the products. If there is a narrow selection of the product to choose from, definitely they will not turn to your store. Okay. The second point he has got after doing the research is that although the industry is saturated, there were several important geographical areas with a few competitors. Okay. Even though we think that the industry is saturated, although industry is saturated, there are several geographical areas there are several geog geographical areas with a few competitors. With few competitors. Third is third point. See, the second point is all about the whether you in when the industry is saturated in one region, but there are several geographical areas with few competitors, and you can expand your business to these areas where the few competitors are there. And the third point is that the this point is not least important. Okay, the economics of sporting goods sales. The economics of sporting goods sales showed that the sports equipment has very high elasticity of demand. See, the economics of sporting goods economics of sporting goods sales showed that sport equipment had very high elasticity of demand. when the sales has very high elasticity of demand, that means when the demand increases, the price also increases. That is what we can say, that is a very high elasticity of the demand. So as we have the demand supply graph, but as the prices increases, demand may decreases, but that is not the case with the sporting goods. It has very high elasticity of the demand. So the after the market research, he has come with these 3 points. So consequently, the customers are extremely sensitive to the prices. Consequently, the customers are extremely sensitive to prices. Therefore, so even though the market is saturated, if you give the answer to this 3 point, we can also grow in a saturated market. So the first point is that the consumer always wanted the broad selection of products. So even though the market is saturated, we have to keep the broad selection of the products so that they can select from the that broad selection. And if there is no narrow selections, definitely they will not turn to your stores, and therefore even though the industry is saturated, you will not get the customers. So our aim is that you should keep the broad selection of the product. Broad selection means you should have the number of the products in your stores. So when the customer come in your stores, they should always go with the by purchasing your products. So if there is a broad selection is there. And although the industry is saturated, there are several geographical areas with few competitors. So we have to search, we have to expand your stores to the other areas where the few competitors are there. And third is, which is not least important, that is economics of the sporting goods. Okay. Sporting goods sales showed that the sports equipments has very high elasticity of demand. So the customers, consequently, the customers are extremely sensitive to the prices. So this is how we can grow in a saturated market. Thank you very much.